Why is Jack Eagle's trap so small? Let's hear from Jack himself.
Right, now I need to grow some traps because mine just don't grow for some reason. Everybody else lifts heavy, gets massive traps. Me, lift heavy, don't get massive, just don't get it back, to be honest. It's got there this year, but the traps are still a little behind.
Why do you think Jack's trap is not growing? Is it genetics? Is it his work ethics? Is it his coaching and special supplement? Or is it his technique? Jack's fanboys are going to be like, CJ, how dare you? Yeah, CJ, how dare you? Of course, I'm also a fanboy. But let's take a closer look at his technique.
Jeez, ow.
Jack's fanboys would look at his technique and be amazed. But an experienced trainer would look at his technique and see so many things going wrong. Let's take a closer look at Jack's machine shrug technique and review 3 key areas: the lift-off, his bracing, and his overall execution. We will review common mistakes with machine shrugs and try to fix Jack's technique, including his back day training issues. You're welcome, Jack. At first glance, the lift-off looks great. But when you look closer, things begin to unravel. Let's see the lift-off again. Now, slowly. Let's pause it there. It looks like everything is under control. Hips, arm, shoulder, all aligned. But as the movement continued, he relied heavily on the arms for the lift-off, with a weak leg drive and a soft torso. You noticed that the trap was not engaged from the very beginning. For reference, here is what a good lift-off looks like. Therefore, fixing Jack's lift-off will correct most of his problems. The next issue is that Jack does not maintain a firm brace of his torso during the exercise. Watch his hips swing each time he adjusts the weight. Maintaining a proper brace during and after liftoff is very crucial for optimal execution of trap exercise because it facilitates smooth and controlled glide of the scapular over a rigid thoracic wall. The biggest issue with Jack's technique is inconsistent execution of the exercise. This is especially important for exercises that involves scapular movement. If you take a closer look at Jack's execution of machine shrug, you would notice that his reps all look different. Each rep looks totally different from the prior or the rep after. Besides his uncontrolled torso movement, the most crucial issue is the movement of his head and shoulders during this exercise. To understand why this is important, we have to take a closer look at the anatomy of the trap muscles. Meanwhile, like and subscribe to the channel to help a brother out. The trap consists of 3 subgroups: upper, mid, and lower trap muscles. I believe when Jack said his trap isn't growing, he meant his upper trap. So let's focus on the upper trap. The upper trap originates from your head and your neck and inserts on your scapular and your clavicle. Therefore, growing the traps requires moving the insertion towards the origin under tension. And to accomplish this, one of these points has to be fixed during the exercise to generate maximum mechanical tension. So Jack loses tension in his trap each time he moves his neck and shoulder simultaneously. He may not notice this because he often moves the weight with his arms instead of his traps. Stop it, Jack. Jack is a victim of online fitness education when it comes to shrug technique. You're told to just move your shoulders towards your ears like you're saying, I don't know. However, the best way to train the upper trap is to move the delt towards the trap while maintaining a fixed neck and head position. Why is this important? Well, it's because the upper trap and the front delt share the same insertion points on the clavicle. So when you shrug your front delt, you are essentially shrugging your upper trap. And with a fixed head and neck position, it means you are actually contracting the muscle from the insertion towards the origin. You truly don't need to shrug your trap to your ears as recommended by the internet. You can shrug higher only if your muscle has gone through adaptation and has gotten stronger, and you can control the weight with proper technique and execution while maintaining tension in the muscle throughout the movement. But just like Jack, most people yank the weight explosively with their hands with less tension in their traps and are forced to lower their head just like Jack so that the shoulders can reach the ears. This behavior often results in the second most common mistake, which is ego lifting. You're told you need to lift heavy to grow your traps. While this is true, you still need to lift with a good technique to grow an ecstatic trap. Okay, how do we fix Jack's machine shrug technique? Let's start with the lift off. Jack starts his lift off by moving the knees to generate momentum to pull with his hands. He should stop this because this is a weak position for machine shrug. Jack, instead you should initiate the movement from the traps, then drive with the hips while your hands drag the weight by your sides. Your hands only serve as a hook for the weight. To break it down further, Jack should firmly position his feet with bent knees and his hand aligned with his midfoot. Then engage the lat and the traps to brace the torso and remove the slack in the arms. Then initiate the drive from the hips with a rigid body to pull the weight. This puts the body in a very strong position. Now, let's see the lift-offs side by side. A solid lift-off would fix your shrug issues. After this, all you need is just to shrug your delts. So Jack, take the cues and fix your lift-off. Let's grow that massive trap. Remember when Jack said this?
Everybody else lifts heavy, gets massive traps. Me, lift heavy, don't get a back, to be honest. It's got there this year, but...
Jackie boy, what's going on with the back? Let's take a look. That's an easy fix. It looks like Jack is pulling with his arm instead of his lat. This is a very common back day problem. Let's break it down and pay close attention to the forearm. As you can see, he started to pull with his arm and kept the tension in the arm throughout the movement in the first rep. You might say, CJ, how do you know the tension is not in his lat? Let's look at it again. You noticed while Jack was adjusting his body, the only part that was steady was his forearm and not the lat, because that's where the tension was during the movement. Jack continued to pull with his arm until right there, when he shifted the tension to the lat. All Jack needs to do is to start the movement from the lat from the very beginning. He may get fewer reps with full range of movement, but he will get full benefit by completely exhausting the lats. He can also add partials at the end to even go beyond failure, as long as you smash the like and subscribe button. Engaging the lat at the beginning of the exercise is a little bit challenging because it takes strong mind-muscle connection. I noticed that Coach Kyle tried to emphasize on this when they trained together in New Jersey. Jack needs to continue working on this to continue improving his physique. Jack is a talented bodybuilder with a great potential as a classic physique competitor, and I am a big fan of his physique and hope to see him on the Olympia stage, maybe this year. Hopefully this video has some tips that would help him accomplish this goal. Also try it in your own training and watch Jack's video. Until then, like and subscribe and tell me what you think in the comments below. Peace out.